Hold on. There we go. Okay. Oh my God. Trying to wake up and like be a person. Like I literally woke up 20 minutes ago. I slept more than I've slept in a very long time, and I super duper needed it because of roller disco and pole dancing. Like, so that's one thing I want to say is when I do more body stuff and I like work harder, I need a lot more recovery time than if I was 22. I'm like, I really need to sleep. And there have been times when I've like done pole dancing and it's been so intense, like it's required so much of my body that I actually felt sick the next day, which wasn't being sick. It was just, and I'm not talking about being sore. I'm talking about like, I can do nothing. I need to rest. All right. But today we're going to have a gentle exercise class, not an intense exercise class. So let's get going. There's a catto. Oh, Gaylord was in the background. He slept with me last night. I locked the kittens out, but then he wanted to leave, and then I opened the door again, and one of the kittens snuck in. And then he came back, and then Anthony saw that and shut the door. Inhale, open, feeling into the space around you. You can kind of reach into it. And then exhale. So we're just doing some dynamic stretching to get started, which means we're moving and stretching at the same time. Reaching it out, stretching one side, the other. I'm just going to open this shade. It's kind of a cool day up here, not too hot yet. Inhale, open. Like you're scrabbling, like a cat scrabbles, like this type of movement. Scrabble on the ceiling. Scrabbling is the technical term for that movement the cats do. Maybe find some side space, opening up, letting your shoulders move. So just getting some mobility in your body. So what I'm trying to do is get the fluid to move through my body so that my experience, I actually feel like I'm hungover, but I had no alcohol last night. And I don't feel hungover like I have a headache or anything like that. I just feel like my body feels really slowed down. So, yeah. And that is from pole dancing into roller disco, which was so much fun. Oh my God. All right, so let's take it one more time. Up and exhale, take it down. Yeah, Catherine, if you ever want to come up on a Wednesday night and roller disco, then you're totally welcome. It's so much fun. You would love it. Shifting from side to side, let your spine release, free up your head, tail. Not going for your hugest hamstring stretch yet, but just something manageable. And then roll it all the way up. And we're going to come down to the floor and sit down in a cross-legged position. Oh, and I'm going to change cameras. I'm in this, oh my goodness. And then we can do the direct test to see if this camera, this one right here, it's a Logitech, if it really is better. So here is the switch. Do I look more tired and crappy than with this camera? Definitely it's doing something with the backlighting. But because I had that like super fun time roller discoing, and let me tell you, I was using my arms, I was dancing. I'm not the greatest skater. Like I don't do a whole lot of crossing over, but I had all this stuff going on. And because of that, I've totally lost my train of thought. Let's take it down to the floor. Oh no, I know what I was gonna say. Because of that, I had this amazing dancing dream last night where I was like dancing in a show that was also being videoed, and it was um, I was like the main female dancer, side, and I could pretty much make it up as I went along. And I had this big kimono with these really long sleeves, so I could like fling them all around. Anthony and I have been watching a lot of Chinese kung fu type movies, and like sometimes the women have these amazing kimonos. I think that happens in Flying Dragon. Or is it Flying Tiger, Hidden Dragon? Circling all the way around. And then there's one, The Legend of Ten Rings, which is actually like a Marvel one. Yeah, so in my disco dancing, I was doing a lot of arm stuff because that's what I could do. Let's take it down the front, just shift a little bit. Yeah, and I was explaining this all before we went on camera. Change legs so your non-dominant leg is in front. But when I do really intense things, I need a lot more recovery time. But just eating cupcakes for dinner is not like the way to do it. If you're going to do intense things, you want to eat a lot of vegetables. Maybe have some clean meats. Like I really feel the difference. Let's take it down the front. We're not going to circle. We're just going to go from side to side. Yeah, so my goal for my day today is to really flush out the stuff that's going on in my body so I feel better. And hopefully you will too. All right, taking it down and my lower back just released a little bit. So before we move at all, let's just do a little bit of head tail mobility, right? So internal freedom from your head to your tail, sending ripples and waves through your body. You could imagine this is like a cat cow gone wild, just going in any direction. It doesn't have to stay arching, curling, side, side. It can go in all the directions at the same time. And I will say that this kind of free movement in my spine, I often wake up in bed and do this for a little while. And if my back hurts, I do it really slow for a long time. And then usually that clears things up for me. So if I'm having pain in my lower back, I spend a lot of time with this sort of free flow, ripples, waves movement, and also rolling, like letting my body massage itself out. Rolling on a hard floor is better than rolling on the carpets. Yeah, so I can just totally feel like I feel it in my face, inflammation, but it's just stuck fluid, right? It's like, oh, you did all this sugar yesterday, and yeah. All right, so that kind of head tail movement, great thing to do first thing in the morning. Let's do knee drops first. So easy loose knee drops from side to side, allowing this to massage through the hips. So if I talk about this as a dynamic stretch, I'm getting the stretch through my inner thighs and then closing stretch and I'm moving, right? Dynamic stretch means moving and stretching. So for me, this is stretching open here. So some people kind of do it without making that open place and they're going to miss that opportunity, right? To get that stretch through the inner thighs. And it's also massaging out the tissue in the back of my body. So there's a lot of fascia coming down into my lower back. I mean, our whole body's filled with fascia, but coming into your lower back is a whole bunch of really supportive, structural, dense, thick fascia. And then there's underneath that are layers of like gushier, softer stuff. So we're getting those layers to differentiate a little bit. We're going to leave the knees on one side and just kind of rock your pelvis from side to side. Okay, Lord. He was my sweet potato in my room yesterday. It was really cute. And then the other side. Just rocking. And so I'm just trying to rock through the tissue on the bottom side. So really I'm getting through my rotators, my glutes, and the fascia in there, right? It's also moving that around. And I'm trying to be as soft as I do this as possible. So if I'm tensed up and I'm doing it, it's not going to have the same benefit as if I just relax into it. All right, and then coming in and let's do hands on knees. So we're going super gentle to start out, circling around and then the other way. And your feet can do whatever they want. They can be relaxed. I'm just kind of flexing and pointing just to get them into the game right now. Let's take the legs up, circles with your ankles and wrists. And I'm letting my legs turn in and out. Often I have you just circle your ankles without turning the legs in and out, but I want to get into my hip socket as well. I could do that in my rotator cuff as well, so my arm has more movement. Same thing in the other direction. Waking up those distal parts of our body, our feet and hands, just shaking the whole thing out, and then lengthening down, and we'll go with a heel rock here. So heel rock, the bowl of the pelvis, the rib cage, lungs, and the cranium, those big bony structures that all of them hold really important organs. But we can feel how we can give them a little fluid mobility as we invite in some movement in the pelvis, some movement in the ribs. Let your head bobble up and down. Yeah. And also, what I can feel today is this action in my heel is getting some fluidity through the front of my tibialis anterior, right? When you do this, you can see how much, maybe you can see it, maybe it's not the right, but dancers tend to have really overdeveloped or highly developed. Is there overdeveloped in this day and age of Marvel comic characters? I don't know. Of steroid abuse and use. So release that and let it go. Yeah, this puffed up look of muscles is not that I have it, because obviously I'm not doing steroids, but that superhero look, and for actors to get into that look quickly, there's really only one way to do it. Your body doesn't change quite so fast without any kind of drug help. That's all I gotta say. Bend your knees and drop your knees from side to side. So I think we sometimes think about women and like all of these images of what women look like that are impossible. We do it to men too. It happens to everybody. And then there's CGI, which can totally change the way that somebody looks anyway. All right, bringing it in. I don't know why. I guess it's because I was talking about those kung fu movies. All right, hands down by your sides, legs up, circles. They can start small and go bigger, or they can be big, whatever feels good to you. And you can add a flex and point or not, really up to you. You can see how good looking Gaylord is looking over at you. And then take your legs up, give them a shake, let it release, and we're going to change direction. So taking it down, out and up, breathing. And head can be on the floor or off the floor for this. And then shake that out again, let that release. Free up your head, tail, free up your spine. Soften your ribs, soften your guts, let it go. Mobilize your inner body. Shake it out. And we're going to take hands behind your head, elbow to knee, one leg in, one leg out, crossing over. Going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We're going to change it. Reach, flex, point. 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 Reach, flex, point, and relax. Open it up. Internally rotate one leg at a time. So one thing I'll say, like when my body feels really different, like normally I wake up and my body feels pretty good, but today like I feel like I get hit by a truck. And what I appreciate about that is then I can really feel things. Like I can feel what's happening in my tissue when I do this flex and point. Like I can feel all of that movement. So what's happening is everything in the front is kind of going up here and then elongating, going up. So this is what's happening in the tissue, right? When we're lengthening down that whole line, or we're engaging that whole line, so it's shortening. And when I point, the other side is shortening. And then when I flex, this side is lengthening, right? So, and I can really feel that because I'm really aware of my body right now. That's why I was like, oh, let's add those flexes and points, and then that will get more movement in that tissue. All right. So let's just do that one more time and maybe feel it again. So just out, flex, point, reach out, flex, point, reach, 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 flex, point, and shake it out, shake it out, shake it out. So what we didn't do, we're going to do it now, and I'll just show it to you this way. So you're going to make a fist with your hands and your toes, and then you're going to radiate out and spread out your toes. Fist in, open it out. Fist in, out, in, out, in. So my leg is turning out. I'm trying to spread out my toes. So I'm getting that spiraling in the whole leg and also in the arm. The hands are really just doing it to help the feet, but it's also getting that tissue to move in and out, in and out, in and out. Last one, in and out, and shake it, shake it, shake it, let it go. And let's roll over and come up onto hands and knees. In this position, we're going to take the hands a little bit forward, the knees a little bit back, and start with big circles with your butt. So your butt is circling around, and it's, again, this is a kind of dynamic stretching because we're moving through the stretch. We're not hanging out there forever. We're just moving through. So while we're doing movement like this, like all the fascia is getting a chance to really hydrate and move against, change directions, move against other fibers and renegotiate the space inside. So these kind of exercises are really good in kind of releasing and mobilizing. This isn't that we're going for extreme strength in this, and we're not going for a huge stretch, but we're going to mobilize. And I feel like those type of dynamic stretches are really like longevity of tissue exercises. They're really important so the tissue is ready to do things, right? It's hydrated, it's mobilized, now it can engage or it can stretch. So I feel like those are really important things to be doing for the long term, right? They're like the insurance policy of being able to move well and easily as we age. Liz Koch says, our tissue is going to age, but we don't have to get dehydrated, right? We can mobilize and hydrate that tissue. Circling around. Chest, lungs, heart. And again, this is dynamic stretching, and you're mobilizing the joints. Change direction other way. Good. And let's come in over the back of the hands. Let's take the hands out in front and just, you can bend in and then push, bend in and push, bend in and push, and in and push. And then coming over this, the regular way. And depending on how much you want to weight bear, your hands can either be under you or slightly out in front of you. Elbows to the floor, coming up, pushing through and down. Elbows up, push, down, elbows up, push, lower, elbows up, push. Feel how your whole arm is connecting into your body, feeling your spine. Good. And then let's open, bring your hand, one hand right underneath you. The other hand's going to open up to the ceiling. Once you get up there, internally and externally rotate just spiral. Think of that spiral going all the way into your rotator cuff, collarbone, and shoulder blade are moving. And then take it down, thread the needle. Take the other shoulder to the floor if possible. Other hand can go up. We can first spiral that other hand. So all that tissue, again, is getting this mobility. And then take it around, grab on. And when I say all that tissue, what am I talking about? I'm talking about your skin, your fascia, your muscles, your joints, everything. Push the floor away with the bottom arm if you want to increase your spiral. And release. Come in. Now that hand goes into the middle. Other hand goes to the ceiling. And again, internally, externally rotate. You can try looking up and looking down, just feeling what happens with your head and neck. And then thread the needle through. No, yes, that's right. Thread the needle. The other hand goes up to the ceiling, and I'm going to turn that hand in and out, feeling that connecting in to that upper quadrant of my body. So I feel my collarbone and my scapula moving. And I'm going to wrap around and grab, if possible, and push with the bottom arm, spiraling and opening. And then release that and come in. And let's do elbows and knees. We're going to take our leg up, out to the side. You can straighten that arm and bring it down, up, bring it back in, elbow to the floor and lower. Up to the side, down, up to the back, lower, up to the side, down, up to the back, lower, up to the side, down, up to the back, lower. 2 more, up. I'm aiming for 8. I might have only done 7. I think I've done 8. Last one, up, out, lower, up, out, and come in. Let's just sit back for a minute, take a child's pose, wiggle around, free up your spine. Just let it release and soften. And then coming up. So one thing, our body takes time to take things in, and especially as we age, like I needed a lot of recuperation time from my night out of skating. And when we're working out, sometimes it's good just to have a little bit of space between doing things. So you're not just, if you listen to like a 1980s Jane Fonda workout, there's no space in anything. It's like, bam, 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 bam. It's like a workout on cocaine. And it might have been a workout on cocaine. Probably not, but who knows? But it's really intense and fast and fast and fast. As we get older, we just need to give our body a chance to assimilate what we're doing. Otherwise, we're kind of just wasting our time with that, with the working out. I'm not saying don't ever move fast. Like we want to do that. I was roller skating last night. I was moving fast. It was fun. But sometimes you want to give your body a chance to take in what you're doing. All right, other leg is going out behind us. Up to the side and straightening that arm and coming down, up, elbow touches the floor and down, up to the side and down, up to the back and down, up to the side, down, up to the back, down, up, side, down, up, back, up, side, up, back, up to the side, down, up to the back, down. Last one, up, side, and up to the back and down. This time we're going to take it back and just shift your butt from side to side. So butt goes one way, head goes the other way. You can take the arm out if you want. And then come in and let me see what time it is. Okay, we still have 15 minutes. So we are going to come onto our butts and just roll from side to side. So rolling across one side and then the other. So massaging out that tissue again. So we did this in the beginning, laying on our backs, right? And now we're doing it in a different position, and the weight of our body. So between our body and the floor, we should be able to massage out some of that tissue. And we're going to spiral it all the way around, take it down to the floor, reach up, paint the rainbow, and take it down. Lots of freedom in your arms, lots of capacity to take up space and move. So that was the one thing that I will say that was different about me and most of the other people there in the disco roller at Roller Magic in Hyde Park, is that I was really using my torso and my arms like I was painting the space. And very few people were. Most people are kind of in their bodies here. So it's just something to think about, that kind of taking up space. It wasn't so crowded, like I wasn't going to smack somebody in the head. Um, anyway, yeah, we kind of can limit our own kinesphere. So start to expand your kinesphere sometimes, especially when you're dancing. It just feels good. Okay, let me relocate this again. Let's come onto our sides. And let's come up into let's stay down here. Let's stay down on the floor. We're going to do circles with the hips. So right angle in the hip, right angle in the knee. Pointed toes if you feel like it. You can relax your foot if you feel like it, or flex. Knee is going to come up, then to the shoulder, then straighten your leg down and turn to parallel. Up, out, down, turn it in. Hydrating that ball and socket joint of the hip, femur head coming in. And trying to really lengthen down. Oh, the sun is coming out up here. One more. And we're going to change the direction. So it's going to go straight down, turn it out, knee toward the shoulder, and in. So it's kind of like you're making a circle with your knee, depending on how you perceive it. And then bring it in. And let's do this one in, rotate in. So really spiraling in, and then toe touches your foot. Knee touches in and out. 2, I'll count these. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. I didn't mean to do this many. 18, but we're doing them. 19, 20. Quad stretch. Take your knee back. Open up. Push back. So this is a static stretch, right? Even though you could micro move in your static stretch. Changes in flexibility are probably going to come more in time spent in static stretches, and also when you kind of activate your static stretches a little bit. Like I can push back and I can push into my hand with my foot so that it becomes a little more active. I'm still having kind of some weirdness in my knee. So shaking it out. Let's roll over onto our back. We're going to go really easy with this. First, just crossing your ankle over your knee, letting your legs fall one way and then the other. Feel the spaciousness between your arms. So chest, lungs, and heart have a lot of room. And you're massaging through your hips and lower back. And then come in and draw your knee in to your body. If you want to straighten the bottom leg, you can. It's really up to you. Breathe. And then release it. Shake it out. Open, internally rotate one leg at a time. And come onto your other side. And starting, there we go. Right angle, knee to up, out, down, and parallel. If you cramp, relax your foot or flex it. Changing direction, down, knee towards your shoulder. Long leg, breathing. And we're going to change it. So we're doing 20 of these in and out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Tap it out, let it go. And then quad stretch, taking it into the back. Ah. All right, let's roll it over. Open your arms wide, get spacious, and let it fall from side to side, massaging out your back. But it's also like giving this stretch through the side body, right? I can feel that spiral stretch as I drop down to one side, and then the same thing, the spiral stretch through the tissue on the other side. So feeling into that, it's just because I can feel my body so much right now, I can really feel what's actually happening. And then bring it in all the way, breathe into it. And then release and just give it a little shake. And let's roll back and forth. And let's take the legs out in the front. Walk your butt from side to side. Forward fold. Again, static stretch. Just release, let go. I'm kind of going to straighten one leg more and then the other. So I'm kind of doing, I'm doing that. Right. Engaging one quad and then the other. And release it, shake it out, rotate in and out. Yeah, my knee definitely has more inflammation. I really need to go see my chiropractor because I think something's just a little bit out with my body from the crazy hike with my brother months ago now. Circles with your feet. And then the other direction. And then open up, side stretch, over to the side. Breathe into it. And turn, face your leg. And come back into the side stretch. And inhale up over to the other side, sideways. And face your leg. And the other thing I'll say about this class today is that I haven't had any coffee. Like I literally woke up 20 minutes before starting class. So I may be somewhat calmer. And side stretch. And if you want to get more like into depth in your body, have less coffee. Coffee's going to kind of lift you up into a more sympathetic, like jittery state. If you have anxiety problems, drop out some of that coffee. Reach out through your legs, taking it forward, flexing your feet. You can kind of arch and curl there. You can also do this lifting up. So if you're tighter, you can do it here. Also, and even if you're looser, it feels good to do both of them. Like sometimes we always just do the maximum. Try doing the minimum sometimes. Try all the things. Gaylord has been in the room most of this class, and he's like, there's some papers on the floor in front of me. I was teaching a Laban class, a Laban notation class or Laban motif writing class, and of course he found the papers to sit on top of before, and now I've got a sweatshirt that is in the room. He has found that to sit on. Free yourself up. It's funny how cats, they just like new things and they like your things. They like my things. Stretch your legs out, bang it out, release, rotate in and out. And it's all lumpy. Like he's up on a chair on top of my sweatshirt, which is all lumpy, but he's kind of perched up there. They also can like get comfortable in the most uncomfortable looking positions. Let's slide our feet underneath. We're just going really easy. Feel free to extend up a little bit more. So if you don't have that squat, if that is a problem, then straighten your legs more. But if you are okay with it, you're going to take your knees toward the floor and then your heels towards the floor. Woo! Hands can help you with that. So you can use your hands moving forward and backward or not. And then slowly take your butt up to the ceiling. Shift from side to side. Feel the weight really shifting onto one foot and then onto the other. And just notice how your foot takes that weight. Like my left foot always wants to go out here, but I'm going to try and keep it in a little bit. My right foot doesn't really do that quite so much. A little bit, because we are shifting over to the side. That's fine, but easy with that. And then come into center and roll up. And let's just circle the pelvis. So tail mobilizing. Circle that tail around. Change direction, go the other way. And then we're going to open up into the shape of an X, standing and just cross elbow to knee. So contralateral movement, sort of advanced patterning for humans, but it's what we all do when we're walking cross body movement. And then we're going to take it to the back, touching in the back. Good for our brains and our nervous system. Good. And then twisting, looking around behind you. This spiraling exercise, normally I do it for a couple of minutes every morning. This is part of my morning routine. And then I add the flex and the big weight shift. And then I usually come back to just standing and I usually spend my time, I'm usually on a hard floor. What I'm feeling as I'm doing this, apart from my body twisting, is I'm feeling the pads of my feet on the floor. Like it feels very interesting to me to feel the movement of the spiral coming down all the way down into the sole of my foot on the floor. And I only recently started noticing that. I'm also trying to look all the way around behind me. All right, let's bring that in. But just there's layers of awareness that you can kind of play with as you're working out. One more thing here. Again, going to go to the hard floor for it. I am going to bend my knees and straighten and press up and lower down, feeling my toes connecting to the floor. Knees over the toes, Press up. Try not to roll to the outer or inner edges of your foot. Try to really track straight down. Knees over the toes. Straighten, push. Lower, knees. Straighten, push. Lower, bend. Straighten, press. Lower, bend. Straighten, press. Lower, bend. Straighten, press. Lower, one more. Bend, straighten, up and down. And then just up and down. But shake it out for a second, let it release. And then we'll go up and down. Just pushing up, down, up, down. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 2 more, 11, 12. And then just stretch it out. Grab a wall. You could also downward dog this, but I'm just going to go with a wall, and I'm going to do them both at the same time. Then I'm going to take one forward, and I'm going to bend that back knee. So if I bend the knee, I'm going to get more into the lower part of the back of my calf and shin. So like more into my Achilles. Alternating sides. And then coming back in, we're going to inhale, open, and just shake, 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 shake. Let everything go. And again, inhale. Open it up, big body. Shake, shake, shake. Let it go. Last one. Inhale, open it up. And exhale, shake, shake, shake. Let it go. Shake like a dog who's wet and just got out of the water. You know how they do that? They shake and they get you all wet. Yeah, you want to develop those shaking skills like a dog. All right, I am going